Outstanding punt by Evans. Drives McLeod back to the 15-yard line.
Ethan Evans has some leg. He had a 65-yard punt before. The Eagles will start this drive from their own 6.
Rookie punter Evans. A boomer.
Guys, this is Isaac Parks. You might know me as Isaac Punts. I'm out here with this guy right here. I think he's a D2 athlete, you know. Is Ethan Evans. Ethan, what did we just get done doing?
Just got done hitting a few punts.
A couple punts here and there. Ethan, did you end on a good set?
I did end on a very good set, yeah.
I would tend to agree. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a lot of the questions that I get flooded in my DMs all the time because these guys are always filled with questions. So I'm gonna ask them to you, so I don't have to answer them anymore. I'm just gonna refer them to this video. Gotcha. Okay, number one, I'm a high school punter. I want to get more consistent. What should I do?
I would say just work on your drop, like doing 200 drops a night. That's what I started doing.
See, if you want the #1 drill for consistency, take more drops. Pick up a ball, right? Like so, okay? Here's a little toss. Drop it, pick it back up, do it again. You do that 100 times a day, you're gonna be a better punter.
In high school, the drop is the most important thing.
Who would have ever guessed?
Yeah, for high school, I believe, because you know I see a lot of high school kids like, oh, if I drop it at my chin, like I'm gonna get better hang time.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the case. You know, just making sure your drop is at hip level and making sure nose is turned to 1130 and you're dropping it flat, slight nose down. And just going out and hitting consistent spirals. If you can hit a spiral as a high school punter, you're going to get looks for college.
No doubt. Okay, speaking of hang time, you mentioned something about it. How does one get more hang time? I get asked this all the time. People don't know how to get hang time. How would you get more hang time?
For me personally, it's just shortening my steps up, especially my last step, because I used to have that problem.
I just got bit by a bug. Okay, anyway, keep going. I just got bit.
For me, getting more hang time, you just shorten up your last step and making sure that you're in the lean back position.
Yeah.
So what I see a lot of guys do is that they'll crunch over like this and they'll just try to swing more up.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting in the sit back position and getting the hips up and through. Because that was the biggest problem for me coming out of college.
Yeah.
2 years ago. When I was trying to hit bigger hang time, I was like, oh, if I swing harder and more up, then I'm gonna get better hang time. No, I just raised my drop up slightly above hip level and just focused on leaning back and shortening that last step up.
All right, perfect. What would you say lifting a lot of weights helps you be a better punter? Or should you be doing band exercises exclusively?
I'm sure everybody's seen my Instagram. I would not suggest lifting like I did.
Really?
No, I like doing the super heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Because, in high school, I didn't have enough money to go to, a lot of camps and anything. So I was like, okay, so I know my technique isn't going to be the best, but I'm just going to kick harder than everybody else. So that's just how I grew up training. I grew up training lifting super heavy weights, but for normal punters and everything, and normal kickers and snappers and whatever, I focus on just doing explosive movements. So, doing lighter weights, but moving as fast as you can. Band exercises, jumping is a big one. I love jumping now. I do a lot of jumping at the Rams. Just doing box jumps, band exercises, and then sprints. I would suggest doing sprints just to get your leg faster. So the faster your leg is, the bigger ball you're gonna hit.
Yeah.
Like strength does help, but I think speed is the biggest thing, because that's what I've been working on, is more speed instead of strength. I still lift heavy.
Right.
But, speed for me has been the biggest improvement. And obviously my balls have gotten a lot more consistent and better since I started doing speed training.
And then what would you say, okay, so going from Wingate Ethan to Rams Ethan, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make?
Just being a pro, coming out with training, like every time I came out here to the field at Wingate, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna try to hit the biggest ball I can. Now that I've gone through my first season in NFL, I know what balls will work in game and what balls won't. So hitting a 70-yard punt is cool and all, but you hit that in a game, it's getting returned.
Yeah.
If you hit a 55-0 on the sideline, that's not getting returned, that's 50 yards net. That's the biggest thing for us is net yardage in the NFL and fair catches. How many fair catches can we get? And then also just working on my miss hit, making sure my miss hit is still a playable ball, like a 45, 4.7, 4.5. If that's my worst ball, we'll be okay.
What are the biggest things that you're going to be working on this offseason? What are you changing? Where do you see yourself next season?
Yeah, so I've switched to a two-step punter. I feel like with as tall as I am and as strong as I am, I felt like a jab was unnecessary. Also, I felt like with the two-step, I could get better hang time, which I felt like was the biggest thing I needed to work on from last season. I was happy with how I did last season, but I also knew there was areas to improve. Biggest one of that being hang time. So that's what I've been really working on this offseason, is just trying to hit 5-0s, 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 5-0s. You know, you saw in the last set, like, the lowest ball we hit in set of 7 was 5-1. So, like, I think we'll be okay with that. So, yeah, just going out, just having consistent 55-0s, and that's just what I'm shooting for. I'm not shooting for, unless we absolutely need it, I'm not shooting for a 60-plus yard punt anymore. It's like, you're just not going to hit that in game anymore. But if you hit 55, 5-5, like in gameplay.
Yeah. People are happy.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually funny you say that. I'm working on the video right now where I'm going through everybody's like best punts. There's very few best punts that are like 60 plus, because almost all of them is like 61-yard punt, 15-yard return, and I'm like, it's a net of 45. Like, I don't care about that. Like, it's not a great ball. So, all right, well, thank you. Oh fuck, I'm not even. Okay, well, thanks Ethan for coming on. Thanks for telling these guys a lot of stuff I've already told them. Thanks for reinforcing it. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe. Ethan, anything you want to say to them?
Just have fun with kicking, guys. Have a good time. It's a really fun sport. Enjoy it. If you're in high school, enjoy it with your teammates. It's the best time I've ever had playing football. If you're in college, just keep grinding for the NFL, and just keep consistent balls and have fun with it. Enjoy it.
Okay, so we referenced this set a couple of times in the video, and we just want to end on showing you what he actually hit during this set, because it's one of the crazier sets I've ever seen. It's just 7 punts, everything above 5-0, a couple of them above 5-5, absolutely nutty. So enjoy and consider subscribing.
Five, 6.
I'm done.
That's a good,
I'm done.
That's a good save.
I'm done. I'm done.